What's going on, guys? It's your boy Random Guy Kev, and this is Thoughts of a Random Guy. We talk about many things dealing with love, dating, relationships, adulting, life's ups and downs, and the ever-evolving world of just being a human. Don't forget to check me out on all your favorite social media platforms at Random Guy Kev and my website at randomguykev.com. Today's topic is the 9 to 5 Monday through Friday work week dead? And my co-host for this episode is...
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Mark. I am the operations manager for Lilacs USA. How's it going?
Merry Christmas. How are you?
Happy Hanukkah. I'm doing all right.
So, the Monday through Friday 9 to 5 structure, was designed back in the 1920s to ensure the assembly line didn't stop. In 2026 world of knowledge work and AI, why are we still using a 100-year-old operating system? Because America never wants to change.
America but I think,
I mean, people are used to it because
people are used to it.
Adults go to work 9 to 5. Kids are in school from like 8 to 3. So, sometimes it just works out in some cases. But as we know, like we've seen some countries do the 4-day work week or 3-day work week, and it's still efficient. And the 9 to 5, the standard 9 to 5 in the office sucks. And since COVID, I'm a big advocate for hybrid work. I've always been a big advocate for a hybrid work or just work from home entirely. Because one, the company is saving on space, and two, I want to be home in my bed when doing work, and it makes sense.
Right. I think like so I can speak on the Asian side, like, outside of the US. The 9 to 5 is, I think, almost sacred. It's one of the core pillars of Asian society, the 9 to 5 out in Asia. I know this very well. But it's true. I think like one of the good things that came out of COVID, one of the few good things that came out of COVID was the realization that, we can do hybrid work or work from home. Yep. Yes, there are some bad apples that kind of ruined it for everybody, and I think that's kind of why a lot of people have turned their noses up on allowing a lot of their employees to do 9 to 5 now, to do remote work or hybrid work nowadays. But I feel like there's so much software out there that can actually measure what you're doing, and let's say, and there's only roles out there that is directly measurable. Like, for example, if you are a person that does sales, or you are a person that does like data entry, you don't need to be at the office for that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like if you're a data entry guy, and let's say you're a product management guy, you don't need to be at the office for that. But at the same time, I will have a slight advocacy of going back to the office, is because there's something to be said when you're around like-minded people. And if you're in a role that if you're in a role that's dynamic, and if you're part of, let's say, like a research group, a marketing team, I feel like we've lost a lot of that chemistry when you can be in a meeting room and throw ideas around and feel the juices flowing, especially for creative teams, and like what I was saying, marketing teams. That it's just hard to do when you're by yourself. You
can do that on Microsoft Teams. Turn your camera on.
No, man, it's not the same. It's not the same, man.
I'm just saying, like, look, okay, I hear your point, but at the same time, the stuff we can do in the office, we can do at our homes.
Yes,
100%.
Yes,
and we could let's go into the pros and cons of this work schedule thing. Structured work hours in a workday. People like to have that 9 to 5 and be like, okay, after 5 o'clock, I'm disconnecting everything. It was hard for me to disconnect during COVID. Even now, it's still sometimes hard to disconnect because I have my work laptop right next to me, next to my actual personal laptop that I'd be like in my work desk that I be shifting from back and forth. It's still kind of hard to disconnect because you hear that ping and you're just like, let me quickly look at it. Let me see what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. Your structured days and weekends. You know when you're going to be in. You know when the holidays are. You know when things are supposed to happen. Like I've been losing track of when holidays are, but I'm not in school anymore.
Right.
It's like in America we just work. I'm in IT. Sometimes we just work holidays, and I forget it's the holiday until somebody be like, "Yo, Kev, don't forget we're off Monday." For what? Why are we off for? What's up? What's going on? I plan meetings on Monday.
Right.
Nobody ain't tell me that. That's fine. But and the new age of technology, being able to work remote, I get it. You want that, like you said, you want humans right in front of you, where you guys sitting there for an hour, not near screens, and actively throwing ideas out for a project or whatever's going on. That's cool. These people are not my friends. I'm here to work. I want to remind people I'm here to work.
Right.
None of y'all are my friends.
Yes.
But a lot of times people like to throw that out. Hey, come, camaraderie and this, that. I don't give a fuck about these people. I'm here to work and make my money and go home. That's it. I don't want no camaraderie with some of these people at all. I'm good doing this remote. And and then working with colleagues globally too. I work with a lot of my colleagues globally, and I'm on different time zones. Why am I going to sit in the office to do work globally? Like a colleague in, let's say, Australia, they're not logging in until I want to say 7 p.m. Eastern. Right. Like, am I taking that from the office after I've just been there 9 to 5? Hell no.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut my day short, and that's what I do now. I go into the office 5 a.m., hit the gym, do my little workout, sit at my desk, handle the UK guys and people from other time zones before people start popping into the office around 8-9 o'clock. By 10 o'clock, I'm out the office. I'm heading back home, take my little break from a couple hours, and then I'm back on for a couple more hours so I can make sure by the time I hit 7, I have my little break. I'm okay. Let me see if those guys over there need any help. Oh, they're good. I'll stay on for a little bit longer. I'm out. I like that dynamic of being able to move how I feel like moving, and that flexibility. If you're stuck to that 9 to 5, trust me, I am not doing anything after 5 o'clock. Call my phone.
Right.
It's going straight to voicemail. And I tell people that when I worked in in other companies in New York and stuff. Listen, after 5 o'clock, I'm a dead body. Don't hit my line. Shit could be burning. I don't give a damn. Hit me between my hours of 9 to 5. You guys do not give me a bonus. You guys don't give me a bonus for working extra hours. You could fire me today and hire somebody else to replace me tonight. Like, I don't like to give companies too much of myself if I don't have to.
Right.
But again, it's other benefits of that 9 to 5 where everybody, all your friends are getting off at the same time. Let's go have drinks. Let's go hit this party afterwards. Let's go do this. What are your thoughts on pros and cons of this work schedule, this 9 to 5?
So it's easy to point out a lot of the cons for it, and a lot of the cons you pointed out, I do firmly agree. But I feel like I agree with that in so much as, like, you and myself and a lot of people around us, we know that we're very driven, motivated people. Like, you don't have to give me a pep talk for me to go do my job. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you don't have to give your supervisor or whoever doesn't have to give you a pep talk to be like, all right, Kevin, give it your all today. Go make sure you're doing your job right today. Okay. Like, I think, like, if you're a highly motivated, independent person that like you said, look, man, I'm here just to do my work, and I'm here to do it well, and just leave me alone, man.
Yeah.
If you're that type of person and you can do that, absolutely, this is for you. Like, this is 100% for you. But in my time of working in the corporate world, working even in Asia, I can hazard to say, like, a lot of times a lot of people can't. And like, I can't count how many times where, like, during COVID, I'd have to go and chase up a few of my colleagues and be, hey man, it's 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
You haven't logged into the Google sheet yet, bro. Yeah. You said you did this. I'm looking at it right now. It's not done.
Not done.
It's and this is not an indictment on people's character. It's just, some people have the ability to, and some people just they work better when they're put in an environment to work. I'll give you this example, right? I cannot work out at home. Like, a home gym will not work for me. No matter how much pre-workout I drink, and no matter, what, I can't do it. I try to do the home gym thing. I just don't feel motivated. This is my home, right? It's my place of rest. I don't want to grunt and get all sweaty and disgusting.
I want to chill.
But when I go to the gym, I'm super motivated.
Yep.
Right? And I think, like, a lot of times, I think that works with a lot of people too, right? Just like when they're at home, too many distractions. You got the video games, I got the TV. I'm just going to take a little bit of time to maybe change a different show to play in the background while I'm working. And all that little bit adds up to decreased productivity. Again, it's not all about, like, oh, how many digits are you filling in for the man? I get it. It's not about that. It's not all about that. No way.
Word.
But it's just, it's about, like, hey, okay, we all want to achieve something. We all want to do something.
Word.
Let's stay on target. And I think, again, not a character indictment on anybody. I just don't think it's for everybody. Now, with that said, I do think hybrid hours is something I think we should definitely do, especially in the U.S. for being such a big country as it is. Like, you should be able to say, I want to work half in the office and half hybrid. And I think that should be absolutely an offer for you. Let's say, even if employers say, after the first year, you can have 50-50 hybrid. I think that's very fair.
I think that's very fair. But you got to think, a lot of people are still in the old school mindset of
that is
being
correct.
in the office, being face to face with people. And it doesn't matter if you have meetings or anything. Even if you do data entry, be in the office 9 to 5, just so you can be face to face with your colleagues.
Yeah, I get it. This is a very in Asia, the whole work from home thing is not looked at very favorably.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times it's because, well, public transport's very easy for us. You don't have to drive anywhere. I mean, you can just jump on a train. You can jump on a bus. I get it. I think and the sentiment over there is also very cynical, in so much that they don't think anyone does any work when you are not in the office. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so when COVID first hit, I felt like I had an opportunity here, right? So either I can just shut up and do my job, or, and I hate to say it, I can be very performative, right? Oh, first thing I do is wake up a little bit early, log into the Google Sheet so my name is there. I'm texting, hey guys, what's our thing to do today? Like, it's almost, you have to do this performative stuff that gets real tiring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To just signal to other people that, hey, I'm awake and I'm working.
Yep.
And
it feels kind of forced.
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, listen, you gonna get. My thing is, I feel like during COVID, and even when people working home, it's like I feel like you work harder at home than you do in the office. Just because your computer's in front of you, and it's like, again, you fail to disconnect when you get home.
Yeah, I think that's how I look at it. Is I think that's like, it's not so much as like, oh, I work harder. I feel like if you're going to be distracted at the office, you're doing the same amount of distractions there as you're doing at home. I just feel like if you're at home, you're going to sit there for maybe a few more extended periods of time. So, okay, I'm really going to dedicate a couple hours to just sit here and do this. And then maybe I can go walk my dog. You know what I mean? I feel like you're when you're working from home, it's more focused to the point. Where if at the office, you're like, oh, it's 9 to 5. I got to be here for these hours anyways. So I'm, maybe I'll scroll Facebook a little bit,
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just go sit on my phone for a little bit, you know. I've dramatically cut back smoking. I don't think the last time I smoked, I think it was like a month ago.
Oh,
And so I don't even take that many smoke breaks anymore, when I'm here
but
stateside.
you see changes though.
Yeah, for sure. And I think like it goes back to like, to your point. It's like, well, a lot of people don't think like that. They feel like you got to come to the office. We have so many things nowadays, so many jobs that we do in an organization nowadays that you can measure, right? You can measure how much data you put in. You can measure your sales success. So with all that, there's really no reason why you can't do more hybrid. Like we were talking earlier, if you're in a sales role, dude, you can 100% do work from home and hybrid because that's measurable. Your sales speak for themselves. Data entry, the same thing. Data entry and data and analytics. This is stuff that's directly measurable. How much data you're inputting or how many reports you're spitting out. It's 100% measurable.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of these can definitely be work from home.
I agree. Do you feel like the 4-day work week makes more sense? 4 days on, 3 days off.
Oh, 100%.
Does a deep work week make more sense? 10 days on with 4 days off pattern. Which one do you think is like makes more sense?
I think 4 on, 3 off makes more sense.
Okay.
Because it provided that, if I'm gonna have to sit in the office for X amount of hours anyways, right?
Yeah.
If let's say it's 9 to 6 instead of 9 to 5, if I'm doing 9 to 6 on a 4-day work week, dude, I think that's it's way more of an incentive. Let's say you have Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That would be great.
Yeah. I agree. I feel like Mondays are useless days, personally.
For a lot, like speaking from our industry, working with Airsoft, right? As a supplier, as a store supplier, everybody wants to get their orders in and prepped and ready, and ideally maybe even received by like a Thursday.
Yep.
Right. Wednesday night, Thursday, get restocked, get ready for the weekend, right? So Friday or Saturday, Sunday. Monday, everybody's trying to catch up from everything on the week, so Monday's kind of a dead day.
Yep.
And everything comes in on Tuesday, unless you work for the bank, or some kind of financial institution. Mondays are kind of dead.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, I don't mind the 4 days on, 3 days off, because Mondays are useless. And then you could just, Friday nights you go out, turn up, whatever, and then even Sunday nights. I'm gonna go out. I'm off tomorrow.
Yeah.
Somebody had mentioned that they work 10 days on with 4 days off, and I'm like, bruh,
wow,
that's hard.
That's hard.
I feel like we all need a break after like 5 days. Personally,
Yeah.
that's in our system now, but it's still like, damn, that's 10 days on. Like, that's nuts.
That's nuts. That's nuts.
That's a lot. I mean, and I think cops do that. I think cops do that. Nurses do. Well, not all nurses. I know nurses that do like 12-hour shifts every day, and I'm like, y'all got it. I wish y'all. I hope y'all get paid a lot of money to do that. I'm proud of you.
Yeah. I mean, that's an interesting take. I mean, my current position is not as crazy as 10 days on and 4 days off, but like I can definitely say both myself and my boss man Masaki, I think like we have a pretty interesting work dynamic. We work both Japan and US hours, so our days are structured / non-structured, and when Japan side has holidays, it doesn't really make any sense for us on this side, and vice versa. When we have holidays on this side, it doesn't really make much sense for the Japan side.
Yeah,
And then
yeah, yeah.
also like for the both of us, when we let's say we have our weekends, we're still kind of attached to a semi work mindset. That means if work stuff comes in, him
Yeah.
and I will still do it. So I don't think him and I have had really a structured work how many days on, how many days off type of type of working environment for quite some time. But going back to like 10 days on, 4 days off, that's pretty extreme.
That's extreme. I think that's very aggressive. Like, leave me the fuck out of this. Leave me out
Yeah.
of this. I don't want anything to do with that. Do you feel like, is the weekend a human right, or is it a luxury we can no longer afford in this global economy?
I think it falls something in the middle. I think it falls something in the middle. Like I think there's something profoundly satisfying about leaving work on a Friday.
Yeah.
There's something about it.
Give me my weekend. It's
Yeah.
like you said, like leaving work on a Friday or having nothing to do after Friday hits. It's like, bruh, we going out tonight. We gonna do something.
Yes.
Or I'm gonna relax. I'm gonna chill. I can
Yes.
chill for the weekend. I can vibe out. I can go clean the backyard patio. I can just chill.
Yeah.
Do my hobbies. I feel like that's the weekend is everybody's right, but I understand those people that do work on the weekends. If they're not the standard Monday to Friday, they might be the Tuesday to Sunday, or Thursday to whatever Monday, and it's like your Monday to Friday is not the same as my Monday to Friday, and I
Yes.
understand that for those people that work on the weekends. Bless your hearts. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah. Yes.
Because I worked weekends back in college, and then I did work for 6 months. I did work a weekend thing at Walmart for some extra money, and I hated it. I hated working weekends. Like I did my regular Monday through Friday job, and then like I would have to do this other job at night on my weekends. And it just came to a point where just one day I was like, it's nice as hell outside. I'm quitting. I'm out of here. I ain't coming back. I'm letting y'all know. I don't even know why I did this. I did this. I don't know. I did this for the plot. I'm out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because again, it's like on a Saturday, it's like Friday, Saturday, Sunday in the summer when the weather's nice and there's cookouts. And listen, catch me outside.
Yeah. That's right.
I'm quitting whatever I'm
100%.
doing. I'm outside. Leave me alone.
Yeah. And I think that the thing with that is also like there's no true incentive to work on the weekend too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if
they
you were
gave a
saying
bonus,
like if you got a bonus, heck yeah. I mean like if let's say you were getting time and a half
yeah,
for
listen, I'm working.
Saturday Sundays, dude, I think a lot of people would be more willing to say, oh, 100%, I'll sacrifice a weekend to do time and a half. When I worked retail, we would have to do weekends a lot. And I was very fortunate to work for a really good store manager, where he would plan that we would only have to do one weekend a month. All the employees would only have to do one weekend a month, and then he would try to schedule our 2-day offs on Saturday, Sundays.
That's convenient. That's smart.
So I think that is, I mean, that makes the mental load of working a weekend way more bearable. You know what I mean?
No, I agree.
And because I think like when I worked retail, we had like a mandatory 2-day off. So you're only allowed to do like 5 days on, and you had 2 mandatory PTO, mandatory days off. So he would all ask us, okay, who wants which weekend on, and then so we'll go and cast our lots and put our names in, and he'd schedule us in, and then he would okay then, oh, Mark, you get these weekends off, but you got to work this weekend. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
That made life like way more bearable for a lot of us.
Okay. I think that's good when you have management that actually cares about you. that
Yeah.
considers your weekend, because their management, they're just like, fuck, I don't even want to be here, but let me make sure these young kids, let me get them out of here. Let me just make sure
You
they're
know,
working.
which I find really funny. Like I find hilarious because, like, let's be frank, working a retail job here in the U.S., if you're a store manager or a general manager or whatever, night shift manager, dude, you're scheduling yourself to have the weekends off anyways, right? So
Yeah.
why don't you go and schedule some of your guys to have weekends off too? Like, I could never understand this, right? If I've heard it once, I've heard it a billion times. Oh, my shift manager always has, Saturday, Sundays off, but we all have to work Saturdays and Sundays. Dude, you have a full store. I don't know why they don't rotate their weekends.
Yeah.
The manager can still have all the weekends off. That's okay. But, like, dude, just rotate your people.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I don't know.
Agree.
That requires too much brain power, maybe.
Yeah. Would you would you trade your Saturday and Sundays for any other 2 days of the week if it meant a 20% pay raise?
So if it was Mark prior to having a family, yes. Now that Mark has a family, no. Because when I was single, and one of the other retail jobs that I did, we didn't have the choice to have weekends off. That was only reserved for store managers.
Damn.
And so they would let us choose which days to have off. And so I would choose Friday and Monday.
Yeah.
And it never really bothered me. I just planned my week a little bit different. I would still go out on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. No, and I feel you. I feel like the Saturdays and Sundays, it's so ingrained in us as the weekend that it's just like, I need this off, because
it's globally too. It's not just here in the U.S. or in Europe, or it's around the world.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. It's like, again, coming back to the 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, I think that kind of schedule is not dead yet, but at some point it's going to be irrelevant.
Yeah.
Because I
think
feel like
so.
everybody's going to be making their own schedules, working any specific type of hours depending on what's going on. But again, I work, my schedule varies because, again, I'm in IT. I could work 7 to 4 this day, or I'll work like 7 to 10 this day, and then maybe 1 to maybe 5 this day, or 1 to 6 on this day. My hours fluctuate just because what I do, and the 9 to 5, Monday 9 to 5. It's not for everybody, of course. Some people in healthcare, they work different hours. They like I know some nurses that work 12-hour shifts. I know some cops that do 4 days on, 3 days off, and I know other cops that do 10 days on with 4 days off. And I'm like, that's kind of weird, but okay.
Right.
But do you feel like, if we lose our weekends, do you feel like we'll lose like our freedom in a sense?
No, I don't think so. I think the market will dictate. I think a lot of things will change around that. A cool little factoid, right? So when I was living in Japan, one night I was going out for dinner, just kind of like a random night, like a Tuesday, right?
Yep.
And I was with my friend, and I was like, man, like, why is everybody dressed to the nines? It's a random Tuesday. Well, it turns out Tuesday is when all the hairdressers get off work and they have their day off.
Oh.
So everybody's going out on a Tuesday night, right? And I think collectively people will gather around those things and people will capitalize on it.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, okay, right now, and there again, it goes back to, there's something incredibly satisfying about getting off work on a Friday night, but at the end of the day, like, things will evolve and things will change. I mean, like, there's always going to be a place for the Saturday, Sunday weekend, but it's not going to be limited to that. As we can see, even in Japan, they have certain days where people go out, and for certain industries. What I can say though is, I think there's always going to be certain people that's going to need and or want the rigidity of a 9 to 5 and the structure of a 9 to 5. And I think there's more people that fall into that group than are maybe people like us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, not a character thing. It's not, I think they're not as good. It's just, I think that works for a lot of people. You know, they take the brain work out of it. I'm just going to go to work. I do my thing. I have my schedule. I have my routine. You know, I have my weekends off, or I have my these days off, and I'm good. You know,
I'm good. Yep.
You know, and God bless you. If that's what works for you, I think that's what works for you. But I think, like, for people that are a little bit more dynamic and have a more flexible schedule, like yourself or like me, I think we're going to start to see more people kind of shift into like kind of what you and I do. And it's going to open up different things. And I think it's going to be very interesting in the next couple of years when, you know, we're going to see a little bit more proliferation of technology and people kind of looking at different ways to work. And I think some of maybe the older people in certain industries, as they retire, more people with an open mind in terms of how we look at our work week may change. And I think we're going to see a lot of flux going forward in the next couple of years. So I'm excited to see where it goes.
Agreed. And I mean, getting to the end of our topic here, for me personally, again, for 9 to 5 through Monday through Friday work week is not yet dead. It's going in that direction because of the different new markets coming out and the new jobs and careers that are being built out there. And I think, you know, you just got to be open to the change. Yeah, it's hard to be open to changes where you're so used to structure, like this decisive structure that everybody kind of grew up in, as far as 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. That's when everybody works. That's it. And kind of going from there, because again, a lot of people never worked, like in college, they never worked retail jobs, or they never worked, you know, in hospitality where, you know, you work odd hours. Some people are so used to the 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. That's all they've ever done. And if you haven't had that change before, you're just like, what the hell is this? Why am I working after a specific time? I shouldn't be working.
Yeah.
And kind of going from there. But what do you want to leave people with in regards to this topic?
I think the 9 to 5, like you said, I don't think it's dead yet. I think it's going to be redefined going forward. I think, like, it may just turn into just like a term. Hey, what, your 9 to 5 is just slang for, it's what I do for a job, right? But yeah, I think we live in exciting times, and keep an open mind, and there's nothing wrong with wanting structure. And I think if you want to go and test the water somewhere, you know, give it a go. And if you are able to work hard and keep on target, you can potentially kind of break out of this matrix, if you want to call it that.
Word. And that's it for this episode, guys. Don't forget you can find me on all social media platforms at Random Guy Kev, and my website at randomguykev.com. Don't forget to check in, and I will catch you guys on the next one.